click the record button. So we are recording this. If you want to go back and review it later, you can. Since you registered for the webinar, you'll get an email the next day or so, and it'll have a copy of the recording so you can go back and listen to it at your leisure. So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. This webinar really is to provide additional support, especially for anyone who's a new Troop Fall Product volunteer. If you do have your fall sale manual handy, go ahead and grab it. You can follow along and kind of make some notes and keep yourself on track. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you should have already had an in-person training with your service unit fall product coordinator and have looked through the fall troop manual. My name is Amy Orwick, and I'm the product sales manager in the Lima office. Our product sales team lead is Ashley Thoreen, and she'll be monitoring the question log. And then we also have Devin from the Cincinnati office who's on as well. So as we go through the presentation, if you have a question that pops into your head, go ahead and put it in that question box, and then we'll pause periodically throughout the presentation to cover any questions that have come up. So today we're going to review program dates, caregiver meeting and goal setting, the Me Too system, delivery, finance, and then have another time for question and answer, making sure that we cover all the questions that come in through that log. So before we get started, you may be asking yourself, why participate in the Fall Product Program? That's easy. The Fall Product Program is a fantastic way to get your troops started for the year. Girls will learn valuable life skills such as goal setting, decision making, and people skills. But there are other benefits as well. Funds earned help support your troop activities and your council. The program is easy, and it's a great practice for girls and their parents in preparation for the Girl Scout Cookie Program. And statistics show that girls that participate in the Fall Product Program have a higher per girl average during cookies versus girls that don't participate in the fall. And then also remember, if your troop early bird registered at least 5 girls and 2 adults, and you participate in the Fall and Cookie Program, your troop's going to earn the cookie bonus proceeds, which is an additional 5 cents a box during the cookie sale. So there's also an opportunity for you as a troop sale manager to earn a bonus. If your troop has $950 or more in total sales, and that includes through any avenue, whether it's the paper order card or online sales, your troop's going to earn this troop sales kit. It includes a camp chair, an umbrella, and then a personalized avatar patch for the troop sale manager. And the pictures there are just kind of for example purposes. They will be customized, but that's just to give you an idea of what the items will look like. And then new this year is the opportunity for your service unit to earn a bonus tied to the fall product sale. So this bonus is based on girl participation. For each girl that participates over last year's service unit total, your service unit will earn a $10 bonus, and it is a maximum of $100 per service unit. So for example, if your service unit had 95 girls participate last year, and this year you have 100, your service unit will receive a bonus in the amount of $50. So you want to be sure to connect with your service unit fall sale coordinator and your other service team members to see what you guys could do with that extra money and what you could do to encourage participation so you earn that maximum bonus. So the sale does have 2 different timelines. Troops in the Toledo and Lima and Dayton regions begin October 6th, and then troops in Cincinnati begin October 18th. And the later start date for Cincinnati is so that we can adhere to United Way guidelines. No matter when you start, though, all your troop orders have to be into the Me Too system by October 30th. All product will be available for pickup between November 9th and 11th, and you'll want to refer to your troop manual for specifics and also information passed down through your service unit fall sale coordinator. And then the sale wraps up December 2nd with all funds and paperwork due at that time. So if you haven't already done so, you should hold a caregiver meeting prior to the start of the sale to explain the program opportunities and deadlines to your parents. Caregivers must sign a permission form in order to receive an order card, and this is super important. Don't pass out any order cards to parents unless you have that signed permission slip. You'll want to keep these safe until the end of the sale. Caregivers are responsible for all items and funds from the sale. If caregivers are separated, have each complete a permission slip and provide each of them with their own individual order card. It just keeps things nice and clean that way, and you don't really have any disputes. You're not getting into the middle of a family situation with trying to share order cards and things like that. You'll also want to make sure that your caregivers have the fall product program guide for families, and those were included in your sale materials. And instruct them to go online and set up a Me Too account for their daughter. The instructions are included in the guide. It's really easy to do. And then any online orders that the girls receive are automatically going to show up in the Me Too system. Plus, caregivers can also add any orders that are collected through the paper order card. They can add those directly into Me Too. And this is going to save you from having to collect order cards from the parents and enter those girls' orders yourself. The parents can do it from their end. They can keep the order card, and that saves you time and hassle, and it puts the responsibility back on that parent. During your caregiver meeting, you want to make sure to discuss your troop goals with the girls and the caregivers. Talk about what your troop wants to do with the funds that are earned and what your goal is for the sale, and let the girls play a part in deciding what these goals are. That's a whole part of it being girl-led, is for the girls to help start making those decisions, even when they're daisies. With your guidance and some suggestions, those girls can play a part in making those decisions. Just as a reminder, each girl that is registered in your troop will be uploaded into Me Too. So if you already have your access and you can get into the system, go in and check and make sure that all of your registered girls are in there. If you come across a girl that's missing, you need to first log into your MyGS account and make sure that she is registered for the upcoming membership year, which would be the 2018 membership year. Sometimes parents say they registered or they turned in a registration, but they didn't actually finish the process if they were doing it online or so forth, and girls won't be uploaded until they are registered. So, but if you check and you see that a girl is registered, but she's not showing up in Me Too for your troop, just give customer care a call or send them an email. The information is on your troop manual there, but they can get girls put into Me Too for you. One thing to keep in mind, though, especially if you have girls that registered on paper registrations, those take quite some time to get entered, because we have to finish with the current membership year and then we jump into the 2018 memberships, and those are entered in the order that we receive them. So sometimes there can kind of be a backlog with that, but that won't prohibit a girl from participating. She can still go in and set up a Me Too account, even if her registration hasn't hit our system yet. As long as it's been turned into the council office, she's considered registered. So even if you log in and you don't see a girl's name, that's not going to stop her from being able to set up her Me Too account. We covered a lot in that first section. I'm sure there's questions. Ashley or Devin, do either one of you have questions you want to throw out?
Okay, we did have a good question. It says, how do we sign up for Me Too? This is my first time doing this. So I believe that we're going to get into that next. Is that correct?
Well, we'll be talking about getting into Me Too, but if the first thing you would need to do is make sure that you've signed a troop manager agreement form with your service unit fall sale coordinator. Once you do that, he or she will pass that information along to your regional office, and then we'll get you uploaded and you should receive an access email. So if you have signed an agreement and you haven't gotten that access email, again, if you reach out to customer care, they can log into the system and see if you're actually in there, or it may be that your service unit coordinator hasn't passed that information along to us yet. So if you've already gotten access to Me Too, then we're going to talk in a little bit about what your screens will look like and everything once you get in. I don't know if that answered the question.
Yes, that answered her question, I think, and I'm sending her a private message as well. Oh, Jennifer asked a great question. She said, so if I have girls that sign up Friday or maybe even Saturday, they can still do the fall sale.
Absolutely. Anytime during the time frame of the sale, as you get girls that get registered, make sure that you talk with their parent and you give their parent that sale information. She can most certainly participate. So it's not like if you're not registered by the first day the sale starts that you can't participate. As long as you're registered before the girl starts selling, she's good to go. So yes, definitely, as you get girls that come into your troop, make sure that you're giving them that opportunity. It's going to be more troop proceeds for you. The girl's going to get the skills that she's going to be able to use during cookies, and there's some really awesome rewards tied to the fall sale. So yeah, definitely give that out to her.
One other question that's really good, and I know we had several other people come in a couple minutes late, so if we could go over it again. It says, what are the specifics for the cookie bonus? So what do they have to do to earn the cookie bonus?
Okay, so the cookie bonus, the first thing a troop had to do was qualify for early bird registration. So if you're a brand spanking new troop, that this is your first membership year, the girls have never been members, you're a brand new troop, unfortunately, you won't be able to qualify for that because it is tied to our early bird registration, but keep that in mind because you'll have that opportunity for next year. But if your troop qualified for early bird registration, then all you need to do is participate in the fall sale. Just give the materials out to the girls, have your caregiver meeting, and let the girls do their thing. And then you'll just, through early bird registration and fall sale participation, you'll earn that extra nickel incentive during the cookie sale. Any more, Ashley?
Let me look here. And I will say with that, I mean, the minimum is participation. So that means that you have to sell one item. But the fall sale items sell themselves. They're amazing for the holidays. They start at $5. I buy a ton each year just to give to my son's teachers and my hairdresser, all those people that really know what to get. Nuts candy items are perfect. And if you just present the sale to your girls, now not everybody's going to sell, and that's okay. We know it's not right for everybody or the family's too busy, but the items sell themselves once the girls get involved. Every single troop that we've had that even only has one girl sell always sells at least 20 items because they sell themselves. A question from somebody said, do we get the fall sale materials for parents from our service unit as well?
Yes. So when you sign your fall sale agreement form with your service unit coordinator, you'll get a packet, and that will have order cards. It'll have the family guides for your parents. It'll have the paperwork and the envelopes and things like that that you're going to need to finalize the sale. So everything that you're going to need for the sale will be in that packet. So if you need more of those, or if for some reason maybe your packet was missing something, you can go back to your service unit fall sale coordinator, and he or she should have extras that would be able to take care of you that way. Are we good?
We have one more that I wanted to address. It says, what happens if a parent creates an online account and they haven't signed that agreement form yet?
Oh, that is a good question. So, unfortunately, we know that might happen. The good news is they probably won't know where to go to create an online account unless you've given them the family guide, because the family guide has the web address and the instructions and all of that. So as long as you're not giving out the family guides until you have that signed permission slip, that shouldn't be a problem. If somebody did slip through the cracks, when you log into Me Too, you're going to be able to see who has orders. And so although it's kind of a backwards way of doing it, you would get that signed permission slip before you would allow the parent to have the product. So you could call them up and say, I see where you've got orders. I don't have a signed permission slip. I need to get this signed before I can submit my order on Monday or whatever the date the 30th is. So, you would just have to follow back up with that parent and get them to sign that permission slip before you submit your troop's order. Good question. It doesn't happen very often because parents shouldn't be getting the sale materials or the information on even how to set up an online account without that signed permission slip, but every once in a while we come across somebody that's kind of found a way around it.
One last question to address, and Terry, that's a good question. She said, she said, should I be able to see the questions being asked? So the answer is no. All the questions come through privately. We answer them as we're going along so that we're not interrupting people, because as many questions as we get, we don't want you to keep seeing everything in the chat pop up. So we usually answer those questions privately. If a really good question comes through in the middle of the presentation, and I think it's for the greater good of everybody, and it's going to be a while before we get to the questions log, I tend to answer so everybody can see it. it, but if not, I'm in here and Devin's my backup in case we need anything. So no, you won't necessarily see all the questions, but we will make sure that you get an answer.
Very good. Okay, we're going to move on. If you still have questions, keep putting them in that question log. And like I said, we'll pause again. And so even if you have questions that aren't pertaining to what we're going to talk about here in a minute, go ahead and put it in there, and we'll make sure that they get answered. So the next thing we're going to talk about is ways girls can participate in the fall sale. So there are actually 2 ways, and girls can choose one or both. So one way to participate is with her traditional paper order card. So the girl will ask family and friends to purchase any of the 12 items featured on the card. She will deliver the product and collect the payment when the product is delivered. No money is collected up front. Girls can also set up her own storefront in Me Too. This is an interactive site that allows girls to set goals, post pictures and videos, and send emails to family and friends about nuts, candy, and magazine items. So magazines are an option on the online system that aren't available on the paper order card. So also new this year, if you had girls that participated last year and have any familiarity with Me Too, new this year, girls can upload a recording of their voice, and their avatar will actually talk to the customer. So it's super cute. So girls can log in, they create their avatar to make it look like them. They can pick the hairstyles and the clothing and things like that, but they can also then record their voice. So when the customer gets that email and they open it up, their avatar is talking, but it's the girl's voice. So I think that's super cute. I think girls are going to be really excited for that. Girls can also upload a selfie to their Me Too email, and that is shown to have a higher percentage of sales than girls who don't add something personalized. But if girls upload a video, they can practically double their sales. So something to keep in mind, especially if you have older girls or girls that maybe are a little tech savvy. Those little things like that, adding the picture or adding the video, really increase their sales. So in the online portion, customers can choose the direct ship. There's 2 ways a customer can purchase if they go through the online system. So one is through the direct ship option, and this is where they can choose from a full assortment of Girl Scout products and gift items. So they aren't limited to just what's on the paper order card. When they choose the shipping option, it opens up a wide assortment of other items that are available to be purchased, as well as the magazine portion of the sale. Items ordered will be shipped directly to this customer. Excuse me. And that means no product pickup. And since the items are paid for with a credit card at the time of purchase, no payment needs to be collected by the girl. And then obviously, since it's shipped, nothing gets to be delivered. So this is a really good option for the girls, especially older girls that are busy, is to try to get their customers to order through the online system and have it shipped directly to the customer. It's great for family and friends who are out of town. It's an easy way to reach those customers. I've had feedback from older girl troops that have actually gone into businesses and done small presentations and then provided them with their Me Too information, and customers have purchased gifts for their customers. So they've gone into a business, made a presentation, and then that business, at Christmas time, sometimes they send out tins of cookies or nuts or whatever to their customers. They've actually purchased them through that girl's Me Too storefront because the customer gets to pick when they want that item shipped. So the business would go in, they would say, I want, this tin of nuts sent to this customer on December 15th or whatever. And they've actually been able to partner with local businesses to take care of their needs to serve their customers. So it's, there's a lot of different avenues that can work with that online option. But if a customer goes to the online option and they decide that they want the girl to personally deliver the items to them, they can do that as well. Now, when they choose that option, they're going to be limited to the 12 items that are on the nut order form. So if they click girl delivery, the only thing they're going to see are those 12 items that are on the nut order form. So basically the customer is making a promise to purchase, and these promises automatically roll over into Me Too, which is great. So anything that happens through a girl's storefront automatically shows up on your troop view at the end. So you don't have to keep separate track of what's been ordered online and what's been ordered on the paper order card and try and get both of those into the system. Everything that's done online automatically is going to show up. But the one thing with the girl delivery, the girl has to pick up the product when her product comes in, deliver it to the customer, and then collect the money. So the only time a girl doesn't collect money is if the customer is having it shipped directly to them. That was a lot, and before I even move to the next part of Me Too, I want to see if there's anything burning that popped in there, because I felt like I was rambling for a while there. Ashley, did we have anything burning that popped through?
We've got a couple of questions, but we'll give it just a second because it takes a little bit for people to type. I know not everybody types as fast as me. We did have a question from somebody, and I don't know the answer, but it asked if we could ship items overseas. They have family in Germany. Do you know the answer to that, Amy?
I don't believe so, but I don't know 100%. So I will check.
Okay.
And then, Ashley,
Yep, we've already started a case. We'll get back with her to let her know for sure.
Perfect.
And then the cool thing about our customer initiative system that we have is we then have a question like this that we don't quite know the answer to. We will create a solution in there, and then anytime somebody else calls into our customer care line, the answer will already be available for everybody. So that's kind of nice. Thank you for that. I love questions that we can't answer right off the bat because it doesn't happen too often. Christy had a great question. She said, is that a change from last year as far as the girl delivery and the payment? She says, if it was girl delivered, they paid online last year, I thought.
No, that for cookies, for the digital cookie, they paid online for girl delivery. But for the fall sale, girl delivery has always been the girl collects the money. So if you've had experience with a cookie program, with eBuddy and digital cookie, it's a little bit different. The fall sale and the cookie sale are a little bit different. So that is one of the differences in between the two. So, sometimes you have to, kind of like Ashley says, you have to put on your fall hat instead of your cookie hat, when we're starting to think about those. But yeah, so it is the same. The Me Too system is exactly the same as it has been for the last couple of years. Are we good to move on, Ashley, or are there other ones coming in?
I think we're good.
Okay, I'm going to move on. Ahead. Like I said, if you have questions as I'm talking, please put them in that question log, and we'll stop and we'll get them all answered for you. So in the fall sale and in Me Too, girls have an opportunity to earn a personalized avatar patch. Excuse me. So to earn this patch, all the girl needs to do is set up a Me Too storefront, and then she needs to send at least 12 emails through the Me Too system. And once she does that, then she needs to have $300 in overall sales, and that can be online or on her paper order card. Both of those count together. So if she completes those 3 steps, she's going to earn that personalized avatar patch. That patch is mailed directly to the girl's home, usually starting in January timeframe. They do take quite a while to get out to each girl because each patch is individually made with the girl's name and with her personal avatar. So they do take a little bit of time, but they get mailed directly to the girl at her house. And then as a reminder, the 12 emails for that criteria, those emails have to be sent through the Me Too system in order to count. So I know last year we had some volunteers call because the girl sent the emails, but she sent them through her Yahoo account. And unfortunately, we don't have any way of tracking that. So we can't count that towards the patch. So they have to be sent through the Me Too system. On top of that, girls are going to have the opportunity to earn an exclusive cookie avatar patch as well. So to earn this patch, again, girls need to set up a Me Too storefront and personalize her avatar, and then send those 12 emails through Me Too. And then during the cookie program, she needs to have at least 210 packages on her initial order. So one thing I do want to clarify is girls don't need to earn the fall avatar patch to be able to earn the cookie avatar patch. As long as they complete the requirements for that particular patch, they're going to earn it. So for example, if a girl sets up her Me Too account and sends the 12 emails, but in the fall sale, let's say she only has $250 in sales, she's not going to earn the fall patch, but she's already met 2 out of the 3 criteria to earn the cookie patch. So to earn the cookie patch, all she would have to do is sell those 210 packages on her initial order. So it's not necessarily one or the other. She could earn one, or she could earn the other, or she can earn both. But they're not tied to where you have to earn one to earn the other. Okay, so I'm going to let Ashley do this. We're going to run a quick poll to see how confident you are all feeling about the fall product sale and the information that we have shared so far. So, Ashley, do I need to share something with you, or?
Nope, we're good. Our poll is up.
Okay, because I am not seeing it on my screen yet. So.
Yep, they can go ahead and vote. We've got 16%, 22% voted. It is going up. So we'll leave that open for just a little bit more.
Yeah, and I'll let you cover the results, because I'm not seeing that on my side of the screen. So I'm sad.
We're doing good. We got 67% voted. We'll give it another minute. Still going up. Ooh, it's fluctuating. I'm telling you guys, it's fun on this side seeing all this stuff fluctuate.
I can't wait.
All right, well, they're still moving. I think people who are on mobile are figuring out how to put their vote in. Okay, we have stalled, so we're going to go ahead and close this out. We'll share the poll results. So 30% of you said, I am feeling very confident. Awesome. The majority of you at 43% say, I'm still learning, but this webinar has helped my confidence. Well, we're really glad about that. And 26% said, I'm a new troop manager, ready, but not yet confident. And 9% said, I got this. I'm super confident. I'm an experienced troop manager. So thank you so much for that feedback. We just wanted to make sure that this was helping you all. So we'll go ahead and hide that. And Amy, you are set to go ahead and present.
I'm set. Well, actually, it's you again, because we're going to
okay.
questions.
Somebody asked for clarification. Can you talk about the 3 requirements to get the avatar patch again?
Okay, so there are 2 patches. So first I'll talk about the requirements to earn the fall avatar patch. I'm going to go back so you guys can see those. So the 2 patches on the left are examples of the fall avatar patch. So the girl needs to set up a Me Too storefront with her parent. That would be step 1. Create her avatar, so it's personalized. It looks like her. It's got she can choose to wear a spacesuit, or she can choose different clothing options. If you haven't gone in and created your avatar, I highly recommend you do it. It's a lot of fun. And then we're encouraging people to save that out and then maybe use it as your profile picture if you have a Girl Scout Facebook page or are part of one of our Girl Scout pages, to use your avatar as your profile picture. That way we get to see everybody's different avatars. So her first step would be to set up the account and create her avatar. Then she needs to send 12 emails through the Me Too system to friends and family. And then she needs to have at least $300 in total sales during the fall sale. She hits those 3 criteria and she'll earn the personalized avatar patch. For the cookie patch, she needs to create the Me Too storefront in her avatar and send the 12 emails through Me Too. Then during cookies, she needs to have 210 packages sold on initial order. So like I was saying before, it's possible that the girl doesn't quite she doesn't have enough sales during the fall sale to get to that avatar patch, but she's already got 2 of the 3 criteria for the cookie one. So then she can really strive to get those 210 boxes on initial order so she can earn that cookie avatar patch as well. So it's not necessarily, you have to earn the fall to be able to earn the cookie. Hope that cleared it up. Other questions, Ash?
I'm just sitting here talking, thinking y'all can hear me. I switched presenter roles, so I could show you guys a graphic that would clear that up also. So the fall patch is on the left, and it's got your 3 requirements to earn, and then the cookie crossover patch is on the right. So this is a set graphic we have for some of our social media promotions. So I thought that was a quick and easy way to share that for you guys. So hopefully that clears things up a little bit. Let me go ahead and give Amy back the presenter role. There we go. Okay, Amy, just click share your screen again under sharing and you'll be set. There we go. Perfect.
All right. So are we good on questions, or were there other ones that popped through?
Nope, nothing big. I've got them. Go ahead.
All right, very good. All right, so we are going to move on then. We're going to talk about accessing Me Too. And like I said, once you sign that manager agreement form and your service unit coordinator passes that information along to us, you'll be uploaded into Me Too. We do uploads on Mondays and Thursdays. So, just depending on when that information is passed on to us, if you haven't gotten it, you should be added to our next upload. So once you are uploaded into Me Too, you're going to receive an access email. They did start going out around September 22nd. Again, like I said, it was after a volunteer signed the agreement form. You want to make sure you check your spam folder. Sometimes we have found that volunteers have found these in their spam folder. But again, if you feel like you should have gotten an access email and you haven't, you can always contact customer care. They can log into Me Too. They can check to see, one, if you've been uploaded, and then help get you going to make sure that you're able to get in. So once you do get into Me Too, the email address you put on your agreement form, that's going to be your username. So your username is your email address, and then when you log in the first time, it's going to have you create your own password. So just make sure to write that password on the front of your troop manual so you have it for quick reference every time you need to log in. So after logging in, the first page you're going to see is your troop's dashboard. If you manage more than one troop, up in the top right-hand corner, there'll be a drop-down box, and you'll be able to pick the troop that you want to view. So if you manage multiple troops, you don't need different emails for each troop. You'll be able to access them all with the same email address and password. You would just select which troop you wanted to view at that time, and it'll take you to that troop's page. So again, if you're able to get in and you haven't done so already, go in and make sure you create your own avatar. It really is a lot of fun. Our product sales team, we've had a blast going in and just changing our avatar up and trying to decide which one looks exactly like us. It is a lot of fun. And then you can also share that with your girls. So, when you go in and do something and then your girls go in and do it, they want to do what you're doing. So, it's a lot of fun. One thing I found last year is when you'll go in and create your avatar, the girls create theirs. There's an option in Me Too where you can take a photograph of your troop. So it's your avatar and all the girls in your troop's avatar, and you can take like a photo through the system on it. So it's super cute. I did it last year with some of the Juliet girls that I was working with, and it was really cute to have that. You can also work with your troop if you want to create a troop video and upload that. And that video will play for each of the girls' customers. Like I said, in addition to the girls' personal video, these types of things have been shown to practically double sales for girls. It gives the girls an opportunity to talk about what they want to do with their troop funds, why they're participating in the sale, talk about Girl Scouts in general. But they're very engaging, and it's another way to get that customer's attention. So some of the other things we're going to move forward, we're going to talk about how to do a few things in Me Too. I do want to remind you that there are step-by-step instructions for everything that you're going to need to do are in your troop manual. So don't feel like you have to scribble things down or that you might forget what we're talking about. We're just kind of giving you snapshot views tonight, but everything that you're going to need is right there in that manual. So when it comes time to enter an order, if you need to do that, the step-by-step instructions are right in your manual. But we kind of wanted to touch on them tonight, just kind of give you a little overview. So as I said earlier, if your girls are participating in the Me Too online system, any online orders, whether it's a direct deliver to the customer or a girl delivery, all of those are automatically going to show up in Me Too. So when you log in, you'll be able to click on the girl and you'll be able to see any online orders that she already has. So that's something that you don't need to worry about entering. And then also, hopefully, you'll encourage your parents to enter their paper order card orders right into Me Too. It's super easy, and it's going to save you a lot of time. When I was a troop leader, I hated this time of year because I'd get order cards and they wouldn't be tallied up at the bottom. And then I'd be trying to figure out what the order actually was. And then I had to put them all, actually, when I did it, it was all on paper. But, troop leaders then have to put them all in the computer, and it's time consuming for you. You can put that responsibility back on the parent just by telling your parents, by this day, you need to key in your daughter's paper order card orders. So parents have until the 27th of October, and that's highlighted in your manual. So they can go in anytime before the midnight on the 27th and key in their daughter's paper order card orders. And then, like I said, that way they keep the order card. You don't have to take it and then have responsibility that, you might misplace it or something, and the orders are in there. And it makes things a lot easier for you. That being said, if you have parents that don't want to set up an online storefront or aren't comfortable doing it, or for whatever reason, you can enter the paper order card orders for the girls in your troop. It's super easy to do. You would just log into your Me Too account. And then here on the front is going to be all the different things you can do. You would click on Manage Paper Order. Then you would select the girl, and you would key in the quantities. I'm moving my mouse like you guys can see my mouse. I'm so sorry. Over on the right, then you'll see what would pop up to add the paper order. So then you would just key in the quantities and save that, and then repeat for the next girl. So it is super easy. And like I said, the instructions are step by step right in your manual. So one of the benefits of Me Too is when the parents set up that account with their daughter, it's going to prompt them to make her reward choices right then and there. Most of the rewards on the fall sale, they don't have a choice. So the only time a selection will need to be made is at the t-shirt and the hooded tunic levels, because those are wearables. So we would need to know what size to order for the girl. So the parent will be prompted to make those choices, but we know sometimes they just forget or they skip over that part. So if they don't make that choice, again, you have that capability of doing it. It's very simple. You log into Me Too. You click on the View Reward Earners. Any girls that you see in your troop list that has a pink triangle with an exclamation mark, it means there's a size missing. So you would just click on that girl, choose her size, and then save it. Again, instructions are right in your manual. It's super easy to do. And then for most of you, there are some service units that still have service unit product deliveries, so this may not be applicable to you, but for most of you, you're going to need to select a delivery location and time. So I recommend doing that sooner rather than later. If you have participated in a cookie sale, you need to wait until after you enter your troop's order to select your pickup location and time. That is not true with fall sale. You can do that at any time up until the deadline that the orders are due. So I always encourage troops to go in and do that now. One, that way you can be sure to get the location that you really want and a time that's most convenient for you. The longer you wait, other troops are going to go in. Those time slots are going to be filling up, and you may not get something that's really convenient for you. So to do that, again, go to Me Too, click on Delivery Sites, edit, pick your location and time that you want, and then click Update. It's super easy. Just make sure that you write down on your calendar the location that you've picked and the time, because once those are picked, we really need to adhere to those. We can't change those because the nut company needs to know where to send the product. So, but like I said, I recommend doing that now, and that way you know that you've got the delivery location that's closest to you or closest to where you want to pick up, and the time that's most convenient for you. So we're going to pause again for questions. Ashley, you're up.
They said that was super helpful. They can see your mouse.
You can't see my mouse? Oh, that's exciting, because I was like,
good.
I'm like sitting here waving my hands and talking with my hands, and I'm like, nobody can see me. I'm feeling stupid. So then I was like, I'm moving my mouse. They can't see my mouse.
Crystal had a good question. She said the manual we keep referencing. They said it's way helpful. Cool.
Oh, good.
So the manual you keep referencing is downloadable from our website. Yes, Crystal, that's correct. But we've also attached it as a handout on our webinar. And this manual, the troop manual we're talking about, is actually in your packet of materials. So as soon as you do get that from your fall sale coordinator, again, everything you need paperwork-wise is in a big white envelope for you. So you'll have a troop manual, and then we have that family guide, which is kind of like the fall guide for the family. So the family gets one with just their information, and you as the troop manager get one with your information. While we're talking about it, I'll reference real quick the other handouts that we have linked. So we have the troop manual. We have the guide for families is on there. We added a sheet that's kind of got the bonus opportunities available for you. And then we also have copies of the volunteer 10 order form that's in the packet, and then the troop final report envelope. We're going to get to the final report envelopes here in a couple minutes once we continue through. Oh, Christine, good question. She said, do individual troops decide where the Care to Share donations go?
Oh, that is a really good. We haven't even really talked about the Care to Share. So once you have your materials and you look at the order card, you will see that there is an opportunity for customers to make a $5 donation in lieu of purchasing a product. So those donations, we tally them up, and then those items, we purchase items from the nut company, and then those are sent to food banks in each region. So actually, I think there's 2 of them in the Cincinnati region that they split, and then 1 in Dayton area, 1 in Lima area, and 1 in Toledo area. So for the Care to Share, the troops don't pick that. That being said, we've never had it. I don't think we've ever had it happen, or we haven't really talked about it. But if a troop, I mean, I suppose if they wanted to donate items to a particular organization, they could, but the customer would actually have to pick an item to purchase off the order card. If they put it in the Care to Share, that's a donation. The girl's just going to collect that $5. That's going to get turned into the council, and then we're going to send that those items to the food bank. So for the most part, it's a lot easier, especially this time of year when you're moving into Christmas and you're moving into the holidays, and then knowing cookies are going to start right in January. Most troops don't want to deal with an individual organization on their own. So, and I wish I had the numbers. I will have to check and throw that out on maybe our volunteer Facebook group. The number of items that were donated last year to the food banks, it was a really big number, and it tends to increase each year. So that's super exciting that the girls are able to give back, and that's staying local within their community. Good question, though. I didn't even talk about Care to Share.
Care to Share is also a great way for girls to increase sales. So it's kind of like Operation Cookie, if you guys have done the cookie program before. So when she asks a customer if they want to support her fall business, they say, yeah, I'll take 2 cans of cashews. She can say, well, would you like to also buy an item? We're donating them to the food bank. And with that question, it's a really good thing we need to share is what food banks we give them to. I know in Dayton, we give them to the food bank is what it's called. It's in, I think it's Eastside Dayton. But last year we didn't have enough product left in the council. So we actually had to purchase additional products from Trophy Nut just to make that donation. So we hope to have to do that again this year. And the patch set this year is just so stinking cute. The Planet patch that they get for the Care to Share just goes really well with that set. So we're hoping the girls are excited about that too.
I know Lima, it goes to the West Ohio Food Bank, and that serves most of the 10-county area around Allen County and Lima. Other food banks in other counties pull from that food bank, so it does serve a big portion of area. Toledo, it's like the Toledo Food Bank, is that what it's called? I'm not entirely sure, but it's whatever the main food bank in Toledo is where it goes there. And then Devin, I don't know if you can unmute yourself, if you remember the couple locations that you used last year. I don't know if you can.
I can unmute myself.
Hey, awesome.
Hello, everybody. The 2 locations that we use in Cincinnati are Serve City in Hamilton and Helping Hands Food Pantry. That's part of New Life Vineyard.
Awesome. Very good. So yeah, there's several organizations that benefit from those donations from the girls, and I know they're super grateful to get those. Other questions, Ashley, or should we chug on?
We had a question about delivery. I'm getting some more details, and I know we're going to talk about that in a second, I believe.
Yep, we are moving into delivery, so keep that keep that marked, and if we don't hit it, then we can make sure we'll touch on it when we break for questions again. So that
Perfect.
does move us right into delivery. So a few tips for your delivery to make sure it runs smoothly. You want to arrive at your delivery location on time. Try not to be early. Definitely don't be late. When troops arrive on time, the flow tends to go much better, and nobody really has to wait a long time. But you also want to make sure that you follow any specific instructions that are communicated. If it's a service unit delivery, you definitely want to listen to your service unit fall sale coordinator and follow the instructions from her. But if you're picking your delivery location in the Me Too system, sometimes emails will come out regarding specific information for a delivery. So you just make sure if you do get something like that, you adhere to those types of guidelines. You'll want to use a vehicle that's large enough to hold your entire order. That being said, one vehicle is almost always plenty. If it is free from car seats, strollers, golf clubs, groceries, all of that stuff, anything that is in your vehicle or in the trunk that takes up space is taking up space where product could be. So if you show up in a little 2-door coupe and you've got 6 kids, which you shouldn't have 6 kids in a coupe, but whatever. If you show up, and you have all these children in your car and it's super tiny, we may not get everything in. So just something to keep in mind. You can talk to your service unit fall sale coordinator, and he or she could probably tell you just by looking at the size of your order in Me Too. Yeah, that's going to fit in one car. Ooh, you might want to bring 2, but in the 10 years that I've done this, I've never had to have anybody have 2 cars. Now, I don't know if anybody, in another area has, but most of them are going to fit in one car. But like I said, just make sure that they're clear of, any debris or other things that are in the vehicle, because that just helps maximize the loading space. So once you get to your location, you are going to be required to get out of your vehicle and count the product before you sign for it. So you want to make sure that you double count, triple count, whatever you need to do, so you are 100% confident you have your full and correct order. If the delivery volunteers are going too fast for you, you can definitely ask them to slow down. I think some delivery places even have a place that you can pull over before you leave the property to get out and double count again. Once you sign for your order and you leave the delivery location, we can't make any corrections. So it's super important that you are 100% sure when you leave that delivery location, when you sign your ticket and you leave, that your order is correct. I can't emphasize that enough. It's just super important. We only get enough items to fill the orders, and it's just really important that everybody make sure that you have everything that you need. On delivery day, if you have an emergency, and this is, an emergency, but if you have an emergency and you can't make your pickup location, you need to call your regional Girl Scout center right away. If it's on a weekend, obviously you're going to have to leave a message on the customer care line, and then someone will get back with you on Monday and let you know when and how you can pick up. So because you're picking your delivery location and time, an emergency is the only reason that you shouldn't make that delivery location and time that you picked. So, like I said, just make sure you write that down. If you know ahead of time that something has come up, talk with the other volunteers in your troop, talk with your service unit coordinator. If you think, a week out, there might be a problem with you making that delivery or making that pickup. Talk to the other volunteers, talk to your service unit coordinator, see if you can make another arrangement. I've had a lot of dads come and pick up product. So it doesn't necessarily have to be you, but it should be somebody who's registered and approved with your troop, since they will be signing for all of that product. After you pick up your product, this is really important. You want to sort your product into girl orders before you allow any caregiver to pick up and leave with that product. It just makes things so much easier. Once you get your product, you sort it out into girl orders, you have nothing left, you're fairly certain those orders are correct. But if you don't do that and you just pick orders as parents get there, I'm almost guaranteeing you're going to get down to one of the last few girls, and you're going to be missing something because somebody's order isn't right. So it's super important to do that before you have parents come and pick up. And then again, they are going to have to count the order and verify it, sign a receipt before they leave your location. So in your sale packet, you have receipt books. Every troop got 2. If you need more, you can ask your service unit coordinator and she can get you some more. But every time product or money changes hands, you have to have a signed receipt. The parent can keep a copy and then you keep a copy. This is your only proof, one, that the parent picked up. If we don't have proof that the parent picked up the order and for some reason they didn't turn in the money, there's not a lot we can do about that. The troop's going to be liable for it because you don't have proof that the parent picked up the product. So it's super important to get them to count and sign that receipt, hold on to those receipts, and then again, you'll do the same when money changes hands. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. You'll make sure that you give each girl a money envelope. Those are included in your kit. Write on the outside of the envelope how much is due and the date that you want the money turned into you. We always recommend that you set your parents' date a few days before your due date to the council, and that way you have time to collect the money, count it, get the parents their receipts, but then you have time to go to the bank and take care of your final paperwork. If you're trying to do all of that on the day that the money's due, it's going to be a lot of undue stress for you. We talked earlier in the webinar about multiple caregivers with girls. So if you have girls with separated or divorced parents, with each of them signing a permission slip and getting their own order card, each of those parents should also pick up their own product. If dad picks up the product for mom and signs for it, mom can come back and say she never got that product, and then that falls back on dad, and you have a huge nightmare of a mess. So it's just make it clean and simple and have each of those people sign the agreement, get their own order card, and pick up their own product. So that moves us into the finance part of the sale, and we're almost to the end here. We only have a few more slides. So we're going to talk about money collection. So in order to meet, again, deadlines for the sale, your deadline, make sure your parents' deadline is a day or two before, and make sure you communicate that well in advance. Let them know when you're giving out the material, send out reminders, things like that. If caregivers collect checks, those checks should be made payable to GSWO, or Girl Scouts of Western Ohio, and any check your troop receives should be deposited into the council's bank account. If you deposit checks into your troop account and they're returned by the bank, we can't help your troop recoup those funds. So by depositing checks into the council's bank account, the council takes the risk of that returned check and not the troop. So again, no money should be collected up front for the product. Money is collected when it's delivered. You want to make sure that you write your troop number on the memo line of every check that you deposit. That helps us if for some reason we need to go back and do some investigating or do some digging. We know that that check belonged to your troop's deposit. Like I said before, make sure anytime money changes hands, you complete a receipt. Both parties should sign the receipt, you keep a copy, and the parent keeps a copy. And then when making a deposit to the council, so let me back up a little bit. At your delivery, when you pick up your product, you're going to receive deposit tickets that are specific for your specific troop. If you have multiple troops that you're managing, you're going to get deposit tickets specific for each of those troops. So you want to keep them separated because they are marked for that particular troop. So when you're making your deposit to the council, you only want to use those deposit tickets. You don't want to use a ticket that belongs to another troop, and you don't want to use a ticket from the counter at the bank. Doing so will not tie that deposit to your troop, and your troop may not receive credit for the deposit. So if you are managing 2 or 3 troops, you want to make sure you keep those deposit tickets separate. This is troop. These are for troop A, these are for troop B, these are for troop C, and don't use them interchangeably. You may not be able to tell that there's a difference in them, but the bank can tell. And so in order to make sure that your troop gets proper credit for your deposit, make sure you use the ones that are given to you for your troop. I think we usually give out 2 or 3 for each troop, but which usually is plenty for the fall sale. But if you do need more, you can reach out to customer care and they can take care of getting you some more deposit slips. So when you complete your deposit slip, again, all of this is in your manual, so don't feel like you have to remember or memorize everything I'm saying. But when you complete your deposit slip, it's really important that you write out all the checks that are in that deposit. Sometimes it's easy to just go, I've got, $326 in checks, and you just write a grand total. But some banks are not required to tally up the checks when you make that deposit. And so there could be a discrepancy by having each of those checks spelled out on that deposit slip. It's easy for the bank and our finance office to go back and say, oh, well, they had check 1, 2, 3, 4 for $50 on their deposit slip, but that wasn't included in their deposit. Then we know where we can go back and find that discrepancy. You also want to make sure that you have everything ready for your deposit before you get to the bank. Don't take everything up. I mean, we've heard reports that troops have walked in with their money box, set it at the teller, and then tried to count and organize and prepare everything right there at the teller. And that makes us look bad. And it creates the long lines at the bank, and then the banks don't want to deal with us. So, just make sure that you have everything ready when you get there. Again, make sure all checks are put into the council's bank account. Please do not put personal checks, even if they belong to your sister, your grandma, whatever. Please just make sure you're depositing all of those checks into the council's bank account. You'll also want to deposit your troop proceeds into your troop bank account. And then at the end of the sale, when you're completing the paperwork, you'll need to make sure that you have a receipt for each deposit, and you put those in the envelope. So every time you go to make a deposit, ask the teller for 2 receipts, and that way you can keep one for your troop finance records, and then one will go into the final report envelope that we'll talk about here in a few minutes, and that's your proof of payment. One thing I do want to point out is that you should only be giving council what is owed to council, so don't deposit more than what your troop owes. Every year we get troops that just take all their money and put it in the council's bank account. Refunds from the finance office can take up to 10 weeks. So that's a long time for your troop to be without your money. And 2, if the amount that you overpay is under $10, the finance office will not issue a refund. So it's super important that you only deposit into the council's account what is owed to the council, and then your troop keeps the rest of that money in your troop account. So collection concerns. I know this is something that weighs on some people's minds. So although it is rare, there are instances where caregivers don't turn in the money. So if your deadline that you've given out to your parents has passed and you have a parent that has an outstanding balance, you need to complete the debt collection form that's inside your sale packet. Do not pay for the parent's outstanding amount out of troop proceeds. Even if that parent promises to pay you in a day or by Friday or whatever they tell you, you still need to fill out that form. If they haven't given you the money by the day that you've given them to turn it in, you have to fill out this form. It's just protecting your troops' earnings, and it's the process that we need to follow. So what you would do is you would keep your entire troop proceeds. So the troops always keep their proceeds, even if they have a parent that hasn't paid. So you keep your entire troop proceeds, and you deduct the amount the caregiver owes from the total due to the council. So for example, if your troop owes the council $400 and the caregiver owes $50, you would deposit $350 into the council's account, and then you would submit that collection assistance form that's in your sale packet. You would put that in your final report envelope. You would attach the signed permission slip that you got from the parent, and also attach all the signed receipts for product pickup and payment. This is why it's super important that you keep all of that paperwork through the end of the sale. We can't accept the form without the signed permission slip and these receipts. This is the only proof that we have that the parent agreed to turn in the money, that they received the product, and then any payment receipts shows any payments that they have made. So without the right documentation, we can't accept that form, and then that means that outstanding balance becomes the responsibility of you as the troop sale manager. So it's super important that you follow all of those procedures. And like I said, even if the parent says, you say money's due on Friday and they say, I'll get it to you on Wednesday. That's great. You still need to fill out that paperwork and turn it in. Now, if they bring you that money on Wednesday, you give us a call at the council. If it's not, if we're still within the timeline, you can deposit that into the council's bank account, or you can send it up to us, at one of our offices. We tear up the form. It's like it never happened. But every year I talk to troop leaders that trusted somebody and went ahead and paid for that girl's product through the troop proceeds, and then that parent never paid them. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. We can't go after that parent without that appropriate documentation. So that is super, super important. It is important to know that troop managers or caregivers who are delinquent in paying their balance will be sent one letter before that debt is handed over to an outside collection agency, or depending on the amount, it could be handed over to law enforcement for legal action. So it is super important to remember that you as a troop sale manager, when you sign that agreement form, you're agreeing to turn in the money on time, and we expect that of you. So it's just something to keep in mind. Like I said, it doesn't happen very often that we have collection concerns, but it does happen. And any volunteer who has a delinquent balance is not going to be able to hold a troop or service unit position. And then if a parent has a delinquent balance, future sale participation restrictions will be put in place for her daughter. So just something to kind of keep in mind. We are at our last step of the sale, and that is finalizing the sale with your final report envelope. So you've done all your order taking, girls have delivered, you've collected all your money, you've made your deposit into the council's account, you've made your deposit into the troop account. Now all you have to do is fill out this final report envelope, put your deposit receipts inside the envelope. If you do have any collection assistance documents, you would put those inside as well. Fill out the front of that envelope and turn that into your service unit fall sale coordinator by December 2nd. All of that, the receipts in there, those are your proof of payment. And we actually have to have these. So even if you're like, I know I paid, I'm not going to bother turning this in. If we were to get audited, we have to be able to have all of our documentation. So it's super important that you get that to us. I know sometimes it seems like, well, I did everything. Why do I have to fill out this silly envelope and turn it in? But it is because, we are a nonprofit and we have to be able to, account for everything. And this is part of the process. So the rewards from the sale then will start shipping to your service unit coordinator the first week of December. And he or she will let you know when those are in and can be picked up. Please be courteous and get those picked up right away after you're notified, and get them distributed to the girls right away. They've worked really hard and they get super excited and they want those rewards. And I know you don't want them sitting around your house, and your coordinator definitely doesn't want them sitting around your house. So I'm sure there are a ton of questions. So Ashley, what do we have on the log?
All right. Nancy had a great question. She said, if all sales are made online and the troop profit is under $10, how does the troop get their refund?
The vast majority of that isn't going to happen. Usually if girls are participating online, their sales and the troop proceeds are going to be much higher than that. Ashley, do you know if, because I don't know if that's going to happen.
I think we've had it happen once in the past, and we just explained to them why we don't do refunds under $10. It actually costs us money to refund money by direct depositing to your troop account. I think we've had that policy for 2 or 3 years, and it's only happened once. So just know that if you're, if your troop is only selling, 1 or 2 items, and you do it online, and all that money goes directly to the council, you might not get the troop proceeds from it. The one instance that we did have that they did not earn it, or that they didn't get their true proceeds, they said they didn't care. It was, I think it was 50 or 60 cents, and they only did it to get the bonus. Oh, Terry had a great question. She said, are we allowed to let the girls advertise on Facebook sites?
So, the Facebook policy is girls 13, I think 13 and older can have Facebook. So we can definitely market the sale and advertise on personal Facebook pages. People shouldn't be advertising on community groups and things like that. It should be on their personal page. There's actually a link that you can get when the girl sets up her Me Too account. There's a link that can be posted to Facebook. So we encourage you to set up your Me Too account and post that link, and it will take your customers to the girls' online store. That's why it's so very important that it's only to people that you know, friends and family that you know. So that being said, we can't police everybody's Facebook or social media. We just ask people to follow the policies and go from there.
The other thing with that is that there is no like verification process when someone goes into your Me Too site and says, I want you to deliver product to my home. The order just goes through. So if you post that to a public site, you may get Joe Schmo wanting you to come to your door with your Girl Scout to deliver product. And we don't want that. We want girls to be safe always. Let's see. Oh, the other question was, how much do troops get back from sales? So the troop earns 10% in their proceeds. Average troop earns $90 to $100 from the fall sale, although we've had troops earn way over that. And older girl troops, junior, cadet, senior, and ambassador for the fall sale can opt out of rewards and earn 12% in total sales, but they still get the specialized patches.
That's a good question. I didn't even have that slide in there.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. I'm just getting the other there. Thanks for answering kind of questions. I don't see anything else. Nothing that can't be answered for everybody. Devin, if you'll take over the questions log, I am going to go ahead and post our survey to you guys. It's really important. If you wouldn't mind, it will take you maybe 2 minutes to fill this out. This provides feedback to us about how we're doing with our webinars, making sure that we answered all your questions and it was worthwhile for your time. Thank you for sticking with us. We're a couple minutes over. There is the link to our survey. If you wouldn't mind filling that out, again, we would appreciate it. We do look at those right after the webinar and a couple of weeks after, so that we can address any concerns, questions, or issues, and moving forward, we can provide better service to you guys through our webinars. The other thing that I wanted to share with you guys, because chances are you might be the cookie manager as well. So Amy, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump over and share my screen so I can show you guys something. So with the fall sale this year, you have to go to your fall sale coordinator to get your materials. Well, we have updated a few things for the cookie program this year so that your materials are going to be shipped right to your door. And we're really excited about this. This is kind of our test run. So if things go well, you might be doing this for fall sale next year. So if you go to our website at www.gswo.org, and it already comes up, cookie resources, you'll get to this page. So I suggest using this short link here, that gswo.org/cookie resources, because otherwise this page is like 10 clicks into our website. So this takes you right to the cookie page that you need. If you scroll down below the calendar, you'll see this right here, cookie material packets. So if you're going to be in charge of the cookie sale also, we ask that you fill out this troop manager agreement form by October 13th. And this will tell us that you're the cookie manager and that you want your materials shipped to your doorstep. The form is really easy and quick. The one you filled out for the fall sale, this is exactly the same thing. When you read through and you kind of initialed all those, that's what this is. You provide all the same information to us, but you're just basically electronically signing it. And then once you do that, you should get a confirmation email. So if you're also the cookie manager, please go ahead and fill this out. I will post the link in our chat page here if I can grab it. Oh, I'm working on two different screens here. Bear with me. There we go. So cookie material link at www.gswo.org/cookie resources. Sorry, talking out loud as I'm typing, just because I'm afraid to post the wrong one. Okay. And the other thing is that we have a webpage just for cookies, or just for fall too. So it's gswo.org, if I could type, /fall product. So the handouts that I mentioned here are also on our webpage, so you can see ways to get started, the important sale dates. We've got a link here with the assortment products, the rewards, the bonus opportunities, a copy of the family guide, and then additional resources. So we've got training that's already been recorded for our experienced volunteers. If you're brand new, you're welcome to check that out. After a couple of days, this will say watch recording now, and you can go here and register with your email and name and watch the recording. And then most of our other forms are available for download here too. We've got the website for Me Too, and then we will post the end of the sale evaluation. Oh, it's already up, the sale evaluation. So we'll send that out once we get to the end of the sale. All right, let me go back to our questions log here and make sure there wasn't anything else.
One thing I did want to emphasize too is your service unit fall sale coordinator is there to help you. So don't hesitate to reach out to him or her if you have questions or issues. Or you can always contact our customer care line. And like I said, the number and email address are on your manual. We have an amazing customer care team, and they know about as much about the sale as the product sales team do. I mean, they know a lot about the sale. They're there to help. So, those are kind of your go-to. You have your troop manual. If you can't find it in the manual, go to your service unit coordinator. And if he or she isn't able to help you, then be sure to reach out to customer care. And if they can't help you, then you've got a question that none of us have ever thought of before, because we really try to be really thorough with all of that. I love that. I never knew that the little cursor would move. I'm super excited.
Right, I know, it's kind of fancy.
Yeah,
we train our customer care team on all of our sales, and we build, I mentioned earlier, those solutions we build in. I think we have over 200 of them for product sales. So anytime that you're calling in, the answer is going to be there, or they're going to find the answer for you. So our customer care team is amazing. They provide amazing support for us. We had another question come through that said, so if you're in Cincinnati, you can only sell fall product for 2 weeks. So Mary, let me answer that for you. The sale starts for Central and North on the 6th, and then it starts at a later date for Cincinnati, or the South region. And that is due to the United Way campaigns in Cincinnati. We are not allowed to do what they consider fundraising during their United Way, because we're a United Way partner agency. So it's been that way I've been here 9 years, and it's always been that way. So we have to cut short a little bit on the Cincinnati sale dates. In order to have delivery before Thanksgiving and over before cookies starts, we have to keep the end date of the program at the end of October. Trust me, we've spent many hours trying to brain, power through or problem solve how to get around that, and there's just no way about it. But we do appreciate the support that United Way provides to Girl Scouts in Ohio. We want to respect those guidelines. That is why Cincinnati starts a little late. But don't let that fool you. Our Cincinnati sales last year, those girls took over the fall sale.
Yes,
they know how to do some fall sale in 2 weeks. So it in most ways, it was not a barrier for them. They just got everything done in the 2 weeks that they had. So it was great. And it gives you guys as troops a little bit more time to get set up and formed, whereas we're still having troops that are trying to get their sales materials and get started and new troops going. So there's some benefits to both parts of those timelines. I am not seeing any other questions. I'm going to remind you, if you don't mind, to fill out that survey. If you can still see my screen, here's a quick link of it. You'll just pick Fall Product Sale Basics. Yes, I participated in a webinar live, or I watched a recording at a different time, today's date, where you're from, and then it's just a couple of questions. Do you strongly agree, mostly agree, disagree, somewhat agree, and then comments and some things for us. That's it. That's all that survey is. So if you don't mind taking just a couple of minutes to fill that out, we greatly appreciate that. And I don't think we have anything else to answer. We're over our time. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us.
You'll receive an email within a couple days from the link that you registered at, and it will have a copy of the recording. And then, like Ashley said, it'll also be put on that fall portion of the website, so you can go back and view that anytime. If there's something that you want to refresh on, it's right there. So we do thank you, and happy selling. Have a good night, everybody.